Good afternoon. We're in the kitchen together. I didn't know we was going to be in the kitchen together today. Actually, I was dressed and ready to go see our oldest grandson play football. About an hour ago, I got a text. Under the weather, 101 temp. So I said, oops. So I let Papa know, and I was like, well, we got to cook something. So I opened up the ice box, and there sat a head of cabbage. I said, you know what? It's actually a cool day here in Louisiana. It's now 85 degrees. It was 83 a little while ago, but it did increase. Now, to some of you, that would be hot. For us here, that's fall weather, which hence cabbage soup. But that wasn't really why I purchased the cabbage. We were just going to have some smothered cabbage for Sunday's lunch coming up. But I wanted to bring you guys along to show you how I'm going to make cabbage soup with ground chuck and just visit, fellowship. But my meat is almost brown, so I'm going to drop the camera, let you see how I'm going to make my soup. This is easy, very budget friendly. But I also want to talk with my friends, and I want to welcome our new friends. It seems that we have some new friends that has joined us in the last few days. And just know I speak for myself as well as all the friends that has been with Buddy and I pretty much since we started this YouTube journey. So we welcome you with open arms, and you'll find a lot of fellowship, God-loving folks in this chat. So let me drop you down. Let's cook. Let's visit. You see it's brown. I do have my heat down to a number 3, and I'm going to season my meat with some garlic powder, black pepper. Now all this is to taste, and some salt. Give this a good whirl. Now we will be seasoning by layer. I have 1 large diced onion, 4 carrots that I did dice, and 2 celery stalks that I semi-finely diced. So we're going to add the Mariquois to this. This is going to bring us a lot of flavor to our cabbage soup. And I could have got out my scraper, but I've already got enough dishes to have to clean over here. It's a pretty color, isn't it, guys? And there was not a lot of fat, but that little bit of salt is going to draw some moisture out of these vegetables to give us a little bit of liquid so we can saute these vegetables down. And that we're not going to cook them to death. We're just going to get them tender. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, close enough to 3 for coffee. But while these are getting tender, and I did turn my heat down to a number 2, more like a 1.5 to 2, because I don't want to overcook my meat. Actually, I should have added them like 3 minutes sooner, because I normally let my meat just get almost cooked with a hint of pink. But we're going to make it work. I just don't want my meat tough. But friends, when I was pulling out everything and prepping for the soup, like I said, I didn't intend on making a video. But as I was prepping the ingredients, it made me think back to about 5 days ago. It was either Friday or Saturday that I had run up to our little local grocery store. Well, I say run up, it's 5 miles, 5-6 miles. And I had something come over me, as we all do. That something was called emotion, passion, pride. pride in that American flag. And many of you are saying, I know where you're going, Lippy. Well, I turned the camera on, and I just started speaking from the heart. I'm disappointed if you really listen to that 13-minute video. I'm disappointed in administrations across the board, okay? Let's be clear about that. I think they've mishandled and misjudged appropriated funds. So I have to stand by that. But at no time when I was speaking my disappointment, my concern, some may have took it as anger. Yeah, but it was really concern. Concern for this country, concern for the people, especially the people that is faced, I'm going to move that off the heat, with rebuilding their lives. Some with their loved ones, some without their loved ones. And when tragedy strikes like that, all of us, or we should, have a rage of emotion, okay? And it's what you do with that rage, because it's fear. Let's be honest. It's unsettling. It's unknown. It makes us, or one would think, what if that happened to me? It makes you lean to your loved one that's next to you and say, I love you. Because life can change just like that. So afterwards, when that video posted, got a lot of feedback. A lot of feedback that agreed with me. A lot of feedback that agreed to disagree. And I want to hone in on that. And I hope you guys find this video. I want to thank you. You know, sometimes I don't get it right. We all don't get it right. But it's right for the moment, as long as we're not destroying individuals' character. Okay? We all have a right to speak what we feel is truth towards an administration on both aisles. Because at the end of the day, they are the employee. We, the people, the taxpayers are the employers. And I think we all can agree on this. It needs to be more transparency of where funds are allotted. I truly believe that we ought to all be able to go on .gov and literally see dollar for dollar, penny for penny, exactly where it's being appropriated. See, if there was full transparency, not after the fact and only sharing what they want us to know or what's been leaked out, we wouldn't be where we're at today. So I want to go back to the ones that agreed to disagree with me. You guys were respectful. You didn't come at me as a human being. You didn't try to judge me because I'm a stranger to you guys. The only thing different is you just happen to see my face and know that I have a channel. I can't see yours. I don't know who you are. But I can stand proud and say thank you for commenting with respect, even if you agreed to disagree. And I applaud you. Actually, I'd like to see more of that. But then you had some that took it to the extreme. Now, I will say, 98% of those extreme comments, I did leave. But there was, I'd say 95. But there was 5% that I did remove. Some I actually blocked. And the reason why I did that is, number one, I didn't want you guys to scroll and read some of the most disgusting, foul language and name calling. I can take it. But you friends, I respect you more than that. Now, I could have turned comments off after the fact, but I chose not to, because I wanted to read what my gut had been telling me, what my eyes had been seeing, what my ears have been hearing. And for the first time in my 59 years, I got to experience pure censorship. Yes. What it told me was that if I can only speak for me, if I didn't align with someone else's thinking, then there was a few people wanted to censor me. There's a few people that wanted to call me a communist, white supremacist. Just foul stuff, guys. And I won't lie, it made me step back and go, whoa. Nothing within that video spoke about any individual. Nothing. But what the comments allowed to show is that we all have the right to practice our First Amendment, and that is freedom of speech. Everyone that disagreed with me, it was your right to practice freedom of speech. But do you think it was right to judge me just because I have a face? You guys don't, but do you think it was right to judge me or judge my friends, our friends that's just joined us? You think it was right to judge them because of their comments? Yeah, because I saw what some of you did. You may be smiling and laughing, but let me tell you who's not smiling and laughing. And that's the people that was hit by Hurricane Helene. That's the ones that is bracing for Hurricane Milton. And they don't know if they're going to have a home to go home to. They don't know if they're going to be hunting a family member. So you see, it's one thing to agree to disagree, but it's another thing when you spew hatred. When you try to validate why there should be censorship. You see, there should be no censorship across the board. Change the channel. That's all. Scroll up. Scroll sideways. You know, there's an old saying, and y'all may laugh at this, but if you have nothing nice to say, you don't say anything at all to an individual. But to our government, we have every right, as long as it's respectful, and I do believe I was respectful in how I carried myself to express my concerns. Because I still have those worries today. It's going on 2 weeks since this hurricane landed on millions of people's doorsteps. That should affect every one of us. And you're saying, well, you don't know what they're going through. I have no clue what they're going through, but I've had a taste of it. 2 storms I can say I lived through. But one in particular was April 24th of 2020. When at a blink of an eye, our life was turned upside down. But none of my loved ones was injured. But it was minuscule in comparison to Hurricane Helene. It's going to be minuscule compared to Hurricane Milton. But that instant panic, that instant fear, that instant worry, I felt all three of those emotions, as those did those people at the time that storm was happening. But that's the only thing we have in common when it comes to storms. But when it comes to just us as citizens, legal immigrants, and I'm going to tread these waters, citizens and legal immigrants, we have got to have the number one thing in common, and to wish better and to wish more on our country as individuals. Not wish for death and hatred. It was foul. But just remember, this could happen to any of us. Any of us at any given moment in time. So I stand here to say, I forgive you. I do. I forgive the ones that attacked me, because you don't know who I am. Just because I didn't align with your thinking. I didn't align with who you choose to vote for. That is your right. But it's not your right to go and demonize and spew hatred, devilish insults upon a complete stranger that you don't know. Just because they practice their First Amendment with respect to an individual. So you see, we have that one thing in common. Relish that. Agree to disagree. Meet in the middle. Talk about it. But how can you talk about something when you're the biggest bully there is? We don't need to worry about bullies in public schools. We need to be concerned about grown folks being bullies. Y'all have got to be very lonely. You got to be empty in here. Open this up. Let Jesus in. Forgive yourself. Because, see, I had to forgive myself the following day for the things I was thinking and the things I wanted to bite back. Now, I did bite a little, still with respect, but I had to defend my character. So I ask each and every one of you that may find this video to know that I love all people. I don't have to respect all people. And I love this country. It's not dark like people want to make it out to be. It's a beautiful country with beautiful people. Just some, I think, are a little lost. Lack of education. What was this country founded on? And no, today, as Hurricane Milton is hitting Florida, everyone in that path, it's not going to discriminate. Hurricane Helene did not discriminate. Let's not discriminate. So, the cabbage soup, in my opinion, is going to represent how I see our country. In order to make cabbage soup, you've got to have flavors. And that comes in all sorts of colors, all sorts of sizes, and all sorts of flavors. But when you put it all together, it's delicious. And that's how Lippy views this country. So let's get back to the recipe. But I had to let my voice be heard. And I had to let you strangers out there know a little bit about me. But I do ask, before we resume to this recipe, If you have nothing nice to say, please don't say anything ugly on my channel. You can email me. It's in the description. But I don't want ugly on a platform that I welcome my friends to, because that's not what it was founded on, and that's not the rabbit hole none of us will go in. But you ones that joined us, our new friends, welcome. The ones who agreed to disagree, I welcome you. I appreciate your respect more than you'll ever know. So let's get back to the recipe. Obviously, I turned the heat off while I was popping my gums. And y'all know what I'm about to do. I'm about to make a well. Now, there's various recipes for cabbage soup. I know that it originated, this was more like what, St. Patrick's type with the cabbage. But I also know years back people used it as a diet. Well, the way I'm doing mine, I don't think it's all diet, okay? I know that it's affordable. There's about a tablespoon of that tomato paste. And I just want to get a little bit of heat on it in my well to release all that sugar, all that goodness. And it doesn't take much, guys, to do that. I'm going to add a little bit more black pepper, a little bit more salt. And I'm keeping it simple, guys, because everyone has this seasoning. Garlic, salt, and pepper. There we go. All right, there we go. Now we're just going to start mixing this in. I have 2 cups of frozen corn. And this also slow down on the cooking, which is what you want. The corn's going to yield a sweetness, kind of like the carrots. But because this is going to be a tomato base, I will add a little bit of sugar. That's an option. Everything I'm doing is an option. I'm just sharing with you guys just a base. Here's another option. I almost forgot to pull it out. Red pepper flakes. We like a little bit of bite, not a lot, 1/8 of a teaspoon. I've got 2 large russet potatoes going in. That's going to give some body. Starting to look mighty pretty. All these flavors, all these colors. Now this was a medium cabbage. Oop, I don't want that in there. Make sure you get the heart out. I guess I had been eating on them, guys. The hearts. All right, I'm good. This is a medium cabbage that I just diced up. Get that piece off. I got a couple pieces of snacks now. I love the heart of cabbage. I just don't want it in my soup. It can be bitter. Now staying on I'm going to go up to about a 6.5 on the higher side of medium. I want to wilt this cabbage some. I don't want to immediately go in with liquid and start boiling it. Here's a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. If I would have had petite dice, that would have been my preference. I have got to get those tomatoes canned. We have 12 gallons in the freezer from the garden. So I got to get them canned now that my hand is starting to recover. All right, let's get some heat going on this. Then we'll be adding some water. But we're not going to stop there. You're thinking, wow, that's real thick. But by layering and letting the heat get on each individual flavor, it's going to enhance them. Okay, I'm going to add a can of water. But we're not through with the liquid. Our second can of water, and let's see where we're at. I have to add a little bit more. All right, this will make 2.5 cans of water. And I'm happy right there. This is where we're going to get our beef flavor. I'm doing a kitchen tablespoon which is going to give us that great beef stock. Now, you could have used beef broth in place of the water that I did, but when you're using this concentrate beef base, why, unless you have some beef broth canned, to me, I just love this one, the chicken. They've got all flavors. And that one size spoon is all you need. I'm going to add my half a teaspoon of sugar. And that's going to actually bring out the natural sweetness of the tomato, but this is not going to be sweet, guys. But you can leave it out. I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to turn it down to about a number 2. And I'm going to let it just slow simmer. Hour, 2 hours. I'll check the potatoes. When they start getting fork tender, then I know I need to be watching it. But the longer it cooks, because normally I always put the potatoes in the last 30 minutes to an hour. But there was a reason for me to add everybody into the pot, because we're everybody in this pot. The pot called United States of America. So everybody went in the pool, and everybody's going to get happy. There's a lady I saw on Facebook. I don't know her name. Lovely lady. I think she's from South Carolina by her accent. And she made a comment one time, and I've never forgotten it. I love it. She was mixing things up, and she said, let everyone get acquainted with one another. Meaning the ingredients. I don't know, it resonated. So, let my soup get acquainted, and let us get acquainted with one another. So I'll see y'all back in like, I don't know, an hour. We'll check our potatoes. And we also got a sample. But it gives me time to clean up my mess and enjoy my coffee. And I'll give y'all an update on my hand. Good news. Not so good news. But Lippy didn't do it. I'm standing behind that. I didn't cause this. They said I didn't. Or either my PT guy was being nice. I don't know. 4:30 and our cabbage soup is complete. I made a small pan of cornbread to go with it. And now I'm fixing to sit down and eat. Buddy is on his way home. I've not had breakfast or lunch, and he's got a lot to do when he gets here. He said he didn't want to eat just yet, so I'm going to eat now, and he'll eat about 6:30. And that's fine with us. Sometimes our schedules don't match up. But as long as we're together at night to give our blessings and to say I love you and pray that we see each other the next morning, that's all that matters. So now it's for the taste test. I did kind of sample it, y'all. Now I gotta make sure that seasoning's right for my man, right? This is so hot. And guys, the longer it sits, oh my gosh, the better it's gonna be. It is just so piping hot. So while my bite's cooling, let me set this down. That hand just ain't quite ready. Let's talk real quick about the hand. Went to PT. That was yesterday. Lord Lippy. And I have excelled from the previous week. So my strength is improved. Motion has improved. The thumb, where that knuckle is still the same, but he said that's to be expected. But can y'all see this little knot that done popped up down here? Then there's a little something, see that? Right there and right there. Well, I noticed it, I don't know, 5 days ago, I guess. And I noticed in the evening, it would like pump, like pain kind of, shooting pains. And it's only in the evening because I guess I'm using the hand. So I turned my wrist over and I said, what is this? So he got to feeling, checking, examining. He said it's a cyst, it looks like. I said, what you talk about? He said, a cyst. I said, like, huh? Like, how? Where? It could be a leaky tendon. I didn't even know tendons could leak. Learned something new. So I didn't get too jiggy with the questions, okay? I backed off, and he looked. I see my surgeon next Tuesday. So he made footnotes in the computer, and the surgeon's gonna check it out next Tuesday. Now, it is growing. Like, you can definitely see every day it's getting a little bigger, only now it's starting to make a red color. Like this, it's changing a little bit. So, since yesterday, I've backed off on the hand. I don't think I was overusing it, because I asked him, I said, did I do this? He said, no, this can happen. It's, you know, it's not normal, but it can happen. He didn't say I did anything. But I have chosen to kind of back off on the hand a little bit, especially with the extension of the hand, like I just did, and that hurt. And just till next Tuesday. So I don't have that long to go. And let's see what the surgeon says. I did not want to get into the Google and play doctor. But there again, you know, that Lippy sometimes I get a nose problem. So I went to ask the Google, and everything I read, there is a such thing as a leaky tendon, a cyst, and sometimes with restraint, some Advil, it'll go away. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll get back in a little splint or something. But then sometimes, depending on the tear, which made sense, leaky tendon tear, they have to do a surgical procedure. So let's say a little prayer that we don't go there. We're not going backwards. We got to go forward. Yeah, we got to go forward. So I'm keeping a positive outlook on this. So I'm just going to back off the hand, see what happens. And I dropped my spoon back in my soup, but at least I got a carrot and some meat. Make sure I ain't got no hair in my mouth. I gotta go, y'all. I gotta get me a piece of cornbread and eat me some delicious cabbage soup. Oh, it's comfort. It's budget friendly. It's us. Flavor, color, all sizes. It's us. And us can be, if you want it to be, a delicious thing and a beautiful thing. So as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. And God bless the great United States that gives us the freedom to speak with respect. Till the next one, y'all.